Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Ashcast, episode number 2. I'm here with my teammate, Mental Billy Putnam. What's up, man?
Not much.
How
How you doing? You? How are you doing?
Okay, I'm doing good, man. I'm excited to finally get an episode with you in. The comments on the first one with Erodi, like everyone was like, "You need to do one with Mental. You need to do one with Mental." Yeah, so everyone's like super hyped to see and get like a better look into the inside of
Sweet, I'm excited.
The mind of Mental.
Let's do it.
So tell me about, obviously you're one of the best Gears of War players in the entire world. Tell me a little bit about, how that kind of came to be, how you started in Gears, that kind of come up story.
So, honestly, I picked up the game at the end of Gears of War 1.
Okay.
My oldest brother is he taught me how to play the game. At the time, I was like 8, 9, 10. I don't know. I was in 2nd, 3rd grade.
Mm-hmm.
But he taught me how to play, really. There's one time I remember playing on canals. It was about when I was about to get off and get ready for bed for school. I got this insane clutch, like on canals with a sniper.
Yeah.
I was like, that was like the most satisfying thing ever. So like I kept playing, and I even invited some of my friends over from school, and I started playing with them, and I just kept playing. Then Gears 2 came out. I grinded wingman. I got like top 200 by the end of the game.
So you were like a leaderboard grinder?
Yeah, I was a leaderboard grinder for Gears 2. That's when like the ranking system back then was nothing could beat it. You know what I mean? Like,
really?
Remember the stars and all that?
Yeah.
So I used to play against all these nerds like Ghost 187, all those 187 wingman players, bro.
They were so annoying.
I remember I was playing with my younger brother Joey. It was before he went to school. I woke up early to play.
Yeah.
I was a nerd. So him and I played wingman. We sniped Ghost 187 because we knew he played in the mornings. And he was number 1 in leaderboard. He was playing some other 187 person, right?
Yeah.
And he hardly ever loses, and we won right before school. I was so hyped, bro.
You just went to school like hype, and you couldn't really explain to people?
Yeah, and that's when I was probably like 2000. I don't know. But by the time the end of the game, I got like 200. Honestly, I started playing GBs a little bit after the wingman thing. I got noticed by one of my long, I met this guy a long time ago. His name is Aggravate, which I grinded with him forever, and so on. I don't know. I used to play TJ Halley, who went by Destroyer as my duo back in Gears of War 2. I don't know. All types of GB kids, they're not even around anymore. So
you've known Destroyer or TJ Halley for like a really long time, right?
Yeah, him and Kenny both actually. Kenny still plays, obviously. TJ Halley's COD player now, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my longtime duo. Kenny, one of the longest people I've known to in the Gears community.
Really? Yeah. So what happened that, you obviously stayed in Gears and TJ went to COD. Like, what kind of made that split? Because I remember playing against you guys back in Gears 2.
His older brother actually taught him a lot on Call of Duty. Him and I were playing Call of Duty together for a while. Like, his first time ever playing COD was with me, and I remember playing Black Ops 1 with him and playing GBs. I even have like some YouTube videos, my old YouTube channel I'm not going to put out there, but we used to play together, and I kind of like went back to Gears, but he was telling me his brother wanted him to play COD really bad, so I was like, all right, whatever. Here he is now.
Yeah, I guess it worked for him. Yeah. It worked for both of you eventually. So. Did you ever have like the want to, or like the, that kind of urge to switch to COD when you saw like how big it was?
Yeah, of course. Obviously Gears is my job right now, so I can't really like sacrifice my job and take a chance for another one. So, I'm staying with the Gears, obviously. So, but if like the opportunity ever comes as like a pro team in COD, like it'd have to be like a top team, I feel like, which would probably be rare since I don't really play. So
yeah,
that's the only time I'd probably take the offer, and especially now with their new franchising coming up next year and LA, all the cities and all that picking up teams. That'd be pretty dope to play under.
Would you so if you got an offer from like a franchising team, would you consider it?
Ooh, from what I've read on like articles, bro, like I swear they're like this minimum salary cap. So like even then, like that's already a raise. Probably
like
maybe. Okay, so I don't know, but still, that's a lot of money just from off the rip, and COD has a lot of money.
And that's like the minimum too.
Yeah, it's minimum. So if I became like fucking top 10 in the game, like I'd probably be getting paid good. So.
Yeah, make that celebrity money.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
So you stuck with Gears and you did the GB grind. A lot of people always ask, how do I make a name for myself in Gears, stuff like that. You are one of those success stories where you went from grinding leaderboards to playing GBs to getting noticed, and now you're on the best team in the world.
Yeah.
Tell me like a little bit about that story and maybe break it down for people who are trying to mimic you, want to be the next you.
Honestly, from going to GBs, I just climbed my ranks up, like higher ranked teams, like top. I was like top 32, like top page on the GB I'd be excited for. And then eventually I'll get like to a top 4 team, top even 1 team on the ladder, which is decent for like GB. And I know there's pro level above that. So for me at the time, that was good. And I just kept climbing the ranks, slowly.
Yeah.
But one thing I always put like into consideration was like I was always listening to like the people like who are older than me and like listen, and just that's all I did really. And eventually I ended up playing with Kyle. I got picked up by Nick Merckx and Prospect as like one of my higher up teammates I've first time playing with, and they taught me a lot as well. So I was always a listener, and I always learned. That's all I wanted to do was learn. Gotta be respectful to those people who would probably know more than you at the time, right?
Yeah.
Can't have an ego. That's all it is, really.
Yes, and I always remember one of the things that you told me pretty early on in the Gears 4, I think, because we were, I don't know if we were like in a losing spree or something like that, but it's something like it's almost like a quote that you said where you were like, you kind of broke down like how you mentally digest. And I remember it was on Foundation. You were like breaking down one of your own plays. And I think I like said something like, hey, like you need to not do this. And you're like, don't worry, I know. And then like later on, you told me like how when you like die or when you make a misplay, like you don't like outwardly acknowledge it, but you think about, okay, like I died, I should never die. How do I avoid doing that again?
Yeah, of course.
And I think that's something that a lot of people don't do in Gears.
I feel like a lot of people in Gears have something to blame or somebody to blame, and
exactly.
I always try not to blame anybody else but myself. Like I could have done this better if I would have hit this shot.
Yeah.
I know I probably got bullshit for 87-1, right?
Yeah.
But I missed a shot. I missed a shot before that. I could have 2-shot him down.
Like what got you in the situation where you got bullshit?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If I'm if I'm like little centimeter like from the chunk range, I'll put that in consideration too. Like, I should have been up a little bit closer.
Do you think that's one of the things that makes you one of the best players in Gears history of all time?
I'm not really complacent. I mean, I know people think I don't play the game as much, but
I mean, you don't.
It's more of a. I mean, yeah, but it's like more of a mental game too. Sometimes, like if I play too much, I'm not gonna play as good. Like that's just me being honest. And
do you think that's a you thing, or do you think that's like a general thing?
It could be a me thing. I don't really know. I don't go around asking people. So, but I feel like for me personally, like I like to get away from the game a little bit and think about it. Like it doesn't mean I'm not like watching or like thinking about it, right? So I'm always thinking about Gears when I'm competing and when there's a tournament coming up. It doesn't mean I have to necessarily sit there and play the game all day. Like, I mean, it's not bad either. If you suck, then play the game. But honestly, at the time, I wasn't having any problems, so I just kept thinking and watching and just learning. To be honest.
So do you think like for some people putting their repetitions in, like that's a good way for them to grow, but for you, that's not really ever been the case?
Either way, I feel like one thing. Playing Gears 3 competitively, it's like more of my come up, I guess. I always like to watch and learn. Like pro players VOD is very important.
Okay.
At the time, for me personally, I felt like that helped me more than like playing sometimes. So that's always been me, just learning. So you like
studied what the best did.
Pretty much.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of players in League of Legends do that as well. I mean, even in Call of Duty, some player at Champs, it might have been Simp talking about how he just watched. Oh no, it was the Eavesdrop podcast that Hector did with Formal, and he was like talking about when he came over from like Halo to Call of Duty, he just watched what all the top players were doing and then mimicked it. Yeah. So do you think like that's what you did for Gears as well?
Yeah, honestly, I think so. Like for the most part, I've always been that shot holder and not much of a wall bouncer. I guess I kind of picked that up from Prospect. Playing with him at the time, he's like this methodical, like slow, not too slow, but like, thinking a lot.
He chose his fights and
that's how I like to play too. So that's where I pretty much started.
So if you had to name, you said Prospect, and you said you were picked up by like him and Nick Merckx, right? So who were your like top 3 people when you were like coming up, making a name for yourself that you really like? I don't want to say idolized, but those are the ones that you like watched and studied.
It's a tough one. I remember watching Carson's montage back in Gears War 2.
Yeah.
I like that one. But, I mean, stream-wise, I didn't have that good of internet, so it's hard to watch streams, honestly. But
well, like if there was players you played against in GBs or something, you're like, man, like he does really well, like, or he's hard to fight, like, or tricks that you picked up on, things like that.
That's tough. I mean, I watched some Kirill's back in Gears 3 when he streamed. I watched Carson's. I played with Prospect and Nick. I watched a lot of the Hypestation videos.
Like the matches?
Like I'd watch like the Hypestation 1 and 2 all the time and like always like look like what everything, like how everything's played out and like who's actually like really good at the game and stuff. So I did that a lot, but I didn't really necessarily like have a pro player I looked up to that I really wanted to be.
Okay.
Like, so. But, I mean, to be honest, it's just me. Like, I didn't have really good internet, so it's hard for me to watch Twitch. But for YouTube, I'd watch montages, scrims, stuff like that.
So you keep mentioning how you didn't have very good internet. Do you think that held you back in terms of like how long it took you to make a name for yourself? I mean, a lot of people complain or say like, oh, I can't do it because I don't have good internet, or I can't, make it because of that.
I mean, it definitely takes like a toll on people sometimes, right? It's really annoying. So I used to play all the time. Gears were 2, Gears were 3 GBs, and I'd always lag out like once a map or something, or lag spike. It was so frustrating. Obviously, eventually I was hoping I'd get good internet, so that's what kept me going.
Yeah.
But it took a while in St. Louis until I was like 17, 18, until I got decent internet. I only lagged out like once every match, like if it's a pro league match. So, but I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say that's what's gonna hold people back. I think like you just push through it. I mean, it sucks, but you gotta adapt sometimes, and if you really want it, then you'll adapt.
And do you think your ability to adapt has helped you? Because you've now won. You never won an event in Gears 3, right? At least like a LAN event.
No, I played one event.
Did you win any online tournaments in Gears 3? Like any ones that were like not singles or 2v2 or whatever?
My team with Throwdown, which was Kyle, me, Clouts, and Demo, we actually probably were the best online team for a while, like beating Synergy in the Big Bang tournaments, the Goats vs. Jokes, I believe it was called. So we were that team at the time. We were the number 1 online. Unfortunately, never got to an event together, though.
Okay.
We could have went to, actually, we broke up before events, so, I mean, I could have went to Winter Ball 9 or something like that with Kyle, Praised, and Soda, maybe I think the team was. We were probably the best team going to that tournament, but I couldn't go. And Hype 3 was the only tournament I went to for Gears 3. So. Okay.
So you never won an event in Gears 3, but you won some online stuff. But now you've won, obviously, you basically ran a train on Gears 4. And UE, we did really well. And now we've won the very first event of Gears 5. So do you think your ability to adapt, because that's always like the quote that's like thrown around. It's like, oh, you need to adapt. You need to get used to it. And it's almost turned into like a meme in the Gears community. But do you think that's like a true thing, that your ability to adapt has helped you be one of the best players in the world for so long?
I like to think so. I mean, honestly, I can play fast, I can play slow. Some people don't know I used to wall bounce a lot back in my day, so I know how to wall bounce. Like, if I'm in doubt, I wall bounce it out,
Yeah.
That's so corny. That just came up on top of my head. But that's
when
what I
in
do
doubt,
sometimes.
wall bounce it out. Okay.
Yeah,
well, while we're laughing about it, I'm taking off this stupid thing.
Yeah, sometimes I do like to wall bounce too. So if it's a fast game, like I wall bounce, I don't know, whatever. Gears 5 seems like it's a little bit more of my pace. I mean, on stream when I watched it, it looked faster, but when I got a chance to play it, it didn't feel as fast. So
yeah, it felt really slow on LAN. Even like the tech test compared to like how LAN felt, it was kind of noticeably
it really did.
different.
Like you could sit there and wall bounce as fast as you can, but you're probably still getting bricked either way. Like it's really hard to miss.
Yeah, and your whole thing, at least the way I look at it, is you very much focus on like hitting your shot and then doing it so well that it doesn't really matter the movement of the other person or your movement, because I always joke about like when you like 1v1 you, like if I 1v1 you or any other pro player, like you have one chance to kill you, and if you don't, you lose. Because you just hit shots so well that like even if for some reason you miss or don't hit a full spread on the first one, you're going to kill me on the second one. So I think that like Gears 5, will help play into that strength for players like you. Do you think there's other players in Gears 4, Gears 5 who are going to have that similar play style?
So you're just pretty much asking like the same play style as me. I would give it to Praise. Obviously, Icy has the same play style, kind of. Some of the old school players have that play style probably.
Yeah. Fran's kind of like that.
Franchise even. Who else? Yeah, that's all I can think on top of my head, to be honest.
So this is kind of a one-off question. Is there like a rival that you felt like you've had? Not like a team, because we've always had like our team. But like a player.
Yeah. But honestly, like people ask me that and they think I'm lying, but I really don't feel like it. I really feel like there isn't anybody I could say that like could consistently kill me at the time in Gears 4 or UE that I have this personal vendetta against, right? So I don't know. I can't answer that.
Was there ever a player, like even if they couldn't kill you, like even if you just like it was a completely one-sided rivalry, was there ever a player like you saw their name in their game and like when you're playing and you're like, oh man, I need to get that guy, like I can't wait to shit on him or something like that?
I mean, sometimes. I mean, if there's someone I know that gets frustrated easily from dying, I'd probably like hunt them down.
You want to bully them a little bit?
Them. It would be hilarious, but especially if they're streaming, But I mean, I don't have any particular player that I really had trouble. Maybe online, LAN never. That's for a fact.
Okay.
It's different on land, so.
So kind of tying into what you said that, if there's a player that gets frustrated, you'll give him a little teabag or something like that. Now, I remember playing against you in GBs, and you were like one of the most annoying.
Gears War 2?
Yeah, in Gears 2. And you were like known for being like just annoying. Like you would teabag, you would.
I was a little kid. I had that screeching voice. I would do it all.
You would be in like game chat, like yelling at people and saying bad stuff. So like, do you like? I don't know, is that like, do you think that's part of your person? Because right now, like, you're way different. You're very much like kind of calm. You were known as like kind of like a stone-faced killer. Like you didn't smile, you didn't frown, you didn't show emotion. Yeah. So do you like, did something change or like just maturity?
I think it's just maturity, honestly. Okay. I don't know. Like, I don't like talking like trash to other players. I don't think it really helps. That's just me personally. I feel like if anything, it puts more pressure on you. So it's nothing I never really did.
Okay. I get that. I mean, I'm kind of the same way. Like, I've always wanted to like openly talk trash. Yeah. Especially with like our record.
If it happens in a moment, then it's like whatever. But like, if you sit there after every single round talking, like,
it gets kind of exhausting after a while too.
I bet. Like, I don't know.
Okay, so let's kind of go into a different gear. Pun not intended. Okay. That was really lame. That was a bad dad joke. Keep on. Yeah. So for you as a player, a lot of people don't know that you're one of those people, and I've bragged about it on stream like a proud parent, that you're just one of those people who like can be good at any single game that you play. And my example has always been when you won this trophy, the season 1 MVP, which by the way, all MVP trophies for this guy, except for, the big one, obviously. You were royalty in H1Z1. You were champion rank in duoing with Ace, I think, in Halo. Yeah. In Halo 4 or 5,
the most recent one.
You had like an undefeated like COD TL with like some friends of yours.
An AW, yeah.
Yeah, and then you had there was another game you were like B+ rank in ESEA servers on Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I still play Counter-Strike. I'm like level 9 face at A ESEA. It's fun to play, but obviously.
So like my point is you were the best at Gears, among the best like in the pubs of Halo, among the best in H1Z1, in like climbing up their high ranks in Counter-Strike on like an actual competitive server, and also like good at Call of Duty. Like you could hold your own in Call of Duty and GBs. So like, where does that come from? Like, how do you just be so good at everything?
Bro, I'm just a nerd, bro. Like, I like to play the game. Like, I don't know. Like, I like to watch when I'm bored. When I'm eating, I'll watch something or anything like that. And then I hate sucking. I hate losing. So like, I always just try to be better.
Is there something that like you do, like a practice technique, or is it just like going back to that, like you just kind of criticize?
A lot
yourself?
Of it's mental. I feel like, no pun intended, but honestly, like people will sit there and switch their sensitivities over and over and all this. Like that's all in your head. I feel like it only messes with you, right? So like I just stick to one thing and I just play it out. And if anything happens, it's my fault. Okay. If there's anything I can do better, I'll do better, right? It's not because my sensitivity is too slow or too high. Like that's just me missing or me having to reposition myself better. So, I mean, honestly, I just watch a lot. Like I said earlier, I think watching a lot is helping. So helpful. So that's just me. I like watching.
So you said you pick like a sensitivity and stick to it. Is there like a way that you do that, or is it just like you kind of feel it out, you decide on one, and then you commit to it?
I guess I feel it out at first. Okay. But like I don't sit there and switch after like midway through the game, through the year, right? So like, I just sit there throughout the whole year. Like even UE, I sat there on one sensitivity the whole entire year. Gears War 4, I did play at 15s in the start of the game, but then I went to 30s. I was 30 just the whole entire game after Paris, I think, or second event, whatever.
Yeah, I remember when you upped to 30. You did it like at an event. You're like, I'm gonna try 30s this game.
I went from 17 to 30s at an event, literally. I actually played really well that event.
What event? Was that London that you did that?
It was the second event, I believe, so whichever one
that was London then.
Maybe London then.
Yeah.
I was thinking Paris, but Europe, somewhere near.
London was because it was Columbus and then London and then we lost Mexico. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I remember you doing that. You're like, I'm gonna try like you had that like little shit-eating grin that you get sometimes where like you're gonna do something that I'm like rolling my eyes at. You're like, Ash, I think I'm gonna try 30s this game. Yeah. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And then you just were like, you dropped like 40 kills or something that map, and then committed to 30s.
Is fun. 30s is fun in Gears 4. I don't know.
And then a lot of people don't know. Well, I guess a lot of people do know, but some of you might not know. Reclaimed, you were one of like the only people I've ever heard of who would switch control schemes just for the initial.
I did that for one event. That was Paris, remember playing Spice and Finals. I would do it.
Yeah.
It really worked. I remember online, bro, like people would be inside that bowl before I even get to my like second up A to stairs, and it was so frustrating.
So like for people who don't or may not be familiar with Gears and the map Reclaim specifically, in competitive play, there was kind of like this top floor of the map that everyone would rush up to. That's where the fight was. And your front spawn player was always like the one rushing into like this little bowl circle kind of pit area that was the fight. And Mental Billy played that spot, and there was players who would play on a different control scheme called Alternate that had a speed advantage just because of the way the scheme works. So you started, I think it was a scrim that you were like, I'm gonna try playing.
It was hard to get used to at first in the scrim, but I sat there after the scrims that night and just literally just kept mashing the same buttons over until it got to like to be a muscle memory, you know.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that was like one of the most impressive things, and I remember like I bragged about that too. Like you would switch to Alternate to match that fight, and then if you died or something happened, we won the round, or not if we won the round, but if you died, then you would change it back. And
or if we wiped them or something, I'd switch right there.
Yeah,
I didn't like the scheme, but like it helped.
Yeah, it definitely helped, and that was just like that kind of ability to switch, because it's a very different scheme. It changes how the buttons or what the buttons do,
it's weird.
Almost completely. So except for like shooting your gun. So. For those of you who play Gears, you know how insane that is, but that's something that you picked up in a day, right?
Yeah. I mean, like probably a week before the event.
Yeah, and you were doing it at the event.
Finals time, yeah.
Just crazy to me. And that ties into, like just, again, we were talking about your ability to just be like a talented gamer in general. So would you, with knowing that you have this ability, right? And we already kind of hinted on it with like COD, like if you would accept an offer for COD. And I know, this question gets asked to people a lot, but if you had the opportunity, like, is there a game that you would play over Gears?
Switch?
Yeah.
Okay.
And what would make you make that switch?
As a dream, I think CS would be the one. I mean, it's a lot of traveling, but they also have a lot of money. Players get paid a lot. It's probably my favorite game to play overall, other than Gears. So, I mean, realistically, probably COD would be the only game I'd probably go pro in. I mean, maybe CS if I really wanted it, but COD right now would probably be easiest for me just because I played it a lot, and I even played Black Ops 4 when it came out and played a lot of tournaments. I won a lot of S&D tournaments, like 20 or something like that. I was playing some pros. I wasn't bad. Yeah. But COD honestly would probably be the easiest. Okay. It'd be a good switch too. It's a little bit more above Gears right now, but maybe not a little, but some. Yeah. You know what I mean though. So. But your dream would be like Counter-Strike? Yeah, I think some PC, because I feel like PC is the wave. Like I feel like consoles eventually is not going to be there. I think it's just all going to be PC. So I think PC is going to be the wave. You think like in the future it's just like pure PC? That's what I think. I can see that, especially with like a lot of games now, like Xbox exclusives being like on PC as well. Like Gears is going to be on PC. Are you going to play Gears 5 on PC when it comes out? I mean, I'll give it a try. Just gotta focus on the controller though. Yeah, that's true. That's true. So Counter-Strike would be your ideal thing. What would make you actually switch? Like, what would it take? Would it be a pro team, or would it be just a certain salary number? Just playing still. Like, I still play, like I said, and I'll probably still play even when Gears 5 comes out. If I get good enough and keep climbing my ranks, and there's a thing called like level 10 on Face It, which I was like one level below. I've played pros already. I just played pro the other day, and honestly, like, get you a lot better. So if I get noticed up there, then start playing with them. Like, I'll slowly make my way up there. But for now, Gears is obviously my job, so I'll play with that for now. But eventually, if I really wanted to, I could probably make a switch to Call of Duty if I wanted, or even Counter-Strike in the long run. So say Cloud9 came along and offered you right. I'm just saying, because like, Team Liquid's like the #1 team in the world right now. So say Cloud9 came along and we're like, hey, we're making a change. Bro, if Cloud9 hit me with an offer CS, bro, I'm out. I gotta say, bro. Like, so it would be like a top team. You would be 100% down to Counter-Strike, and what about like a different game? Like, obviously you talked about COD and with COD franchising, but like, I don't know, what other like right now, if like a pro team hit me up for COD, that's tough. So I don't know. I'll try to manage both, but obviously that'd be kind of hard. You try to manage both? I don't need to play Gears, bro. I didn't play Gears 4. That's true. It's all mental. That's true. That's going to be like your new slogan. It's all mental. It's all mental. No, honestly, I think if COD hit me with a good offer, it would have to be a really good team. Good players I think I could win with if I wanted to do it. I mean, it'd be cool to win another game. Yeah. Like another title. So that would always be cool. So yeah. I mean, that's that's a pretty exclusive club for people. You've got like formal
Did Crim ever win in Halo? Crim was the other Halo player, right?
Yeah, I don't know if he won. I know Enable, I think, won.
Enable's true. And then
that's also first person.
Frosty,
first
but
person
he's not really
too.
one. Yeah.
Third person, first person's different.
Yeah, but you're good with the sniper, and when you snipe in Gears, it's basically first person.
Yeah.
And plus, you play the games a lot, so I don't think it would be too difficult of a switch for you.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be that difficult, to be honest.
So, talk to me about the thoughts you have about Gears 5. We just got done the tech test, 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
You played it a little bit, right? Did you grind it, or did you play it just kind of...
The beta?
Yeah. Like the Gears 5 beta. Like, did you play it a lot, or...
I mean, I was like level 10 by the end of the beta, but that's because I was out of town. It was my 21st.
That's true.
I was out of town the whole first weekend. Second weekend, we were really busy, like here at the house, so didn't get a chance to play much, but it was really fun.
So, what are your thoughts on what you've experienced between, like, you played it at E-League, you played it on LAN, you've played a little bit of the tech test. I mean, what are your thoughts?
I think it's great on LAN. Online, haven't played as much, so I can't really judge it or give it a rating, but it wasn't bad. It didn't seem like huge difference on LAN online, but
do you think it's a step up from Gears 4, or do you
I
think
think
it's about
so,
the same?
For sure.
Okay.
I think it's a step up. New game mode's really good too. The only problem I see with the new game mode is just like being too complex for viewers, but it's like whatever. I don't know. League of Legends is complex, so I mean, just whatever. But I know I would talk to COD kids, right? S&D, like I kind of grew in the community and like talked to a lot of players, like a lot of people, and they always mention how Gears are so hard to understand, like Escalation, and how fast it was in Gears 4. And I'm just thinking, like, if they can't understand Escalation 1.0, like, how are they gonna understand 2.0? That's my only problem. Like, but it's a good game mode though.
So do you think? I mean, like when we played at E-League, it felt like, other than when we played against Ghost, who pretty much like just wolfpacked different spots, and specifically against Simplicity, Kenny's team, it felt like the rounds would like have an initial and then slow down a lot, kind of like old Execution.
Yeah.
Do you see that kind of being the way it plays out?
I hope so. I think it's really good that way. I mean, honestly, I think lives should be shortened by like 1 or 2.
So you think you should only have like 3 max?
3 or 4, yeah, something like that. Because the first round, you can die twice, right? You can die twice or respawn twice and still have 5 lives the next round. So I think they should like lower it by 1 or 2. I think that'll slow it down a little bit more, and I think slow is good right now. Yeah. But not too slow, like Execution slow, but having an objective like Escalation 2.0 is good.
So what if like... is there anything that you would like love to see in Gears 5 to like make it like the perfect kind of game for you?
Esports wise?
Yeah, esports wise.
Honestly, I think 2.0 is good. I think it should be another game mode. I think it's really dull and boring just after a while. So I think if they could get like in a bomb, I know bomb is kind of hard. Like I always see people like want a bomb game type, but like, I always tell them like, if you have a bomb game type, then like it's third person. It's not like it's first person. Like I don't know, it'd be ass. I feel like think about search and destroy, right? In Black Ops, or COD, whatever, and you could literally just sit there and 3P behind a wall in Gears if that were the case, and that would just defeat the purpose, right? So I don't know. People say capture the flag, but that doesn't make sense either. So I don't know. They'd have to find something.
So what if it was like another idea that was thrown around was like an Execution, but there's like a ring, like a BR that comes up after, and it just makes it smaller. Do you think something like that would work?
Honestly, that doesn't sound that bad, but you'd have to give it a try first.
Yeah.
That's a start.
But you think it should be multiple game types?
I think so, honestly.
Okay.
I mean, you could go with 1 for a while, but I don't know. That's tough. I think two game modes would be good, though.
So there was like a whole debate on Twitter in the Gears community about this, and one of the developers, Node Zero, was kind of chiming in on like the thoughts of it and Escalation, and he made some good points about Escalation 2.0. Like the big esports are 1 game type. League of Legends is 1, Counter-Strike is 1. And I think one of the things that made Escalation and Gears 4 so boring after 3 years of the same thing on the same maps was there weren't any changes. Like the guns that were strong pretty much stayed strong, except like near the end drop shot became kind of more favored. But like Markza was always strong on secondaries, and maybe like very early on when people weren't good with the Markza, it was more hammer burst. Like I remember Gil's hammer burst being like a terror on Reclaimed. But everyone kind of understood like the secondaries, what was strong, what was not. The weapon placements were always kind of the same. The maps were the same 7 to 8 maps throughout the entire 3 years. So I think there needs to be something that is just a changing variables to make it kind of different. Because right now what I see happening is people are going to figure out, and we figured out at E-League, anytime that you place a weapon on the mid line, you put yourself behind because they're just building something on their side.
And they get like a drop shot before you get a chance.
Exactly. And then they have that drop shot to win the middle fight anyways. So I think the problem is we're going to see that kind of meta that looks like it could be so crazy just get really stale really quickly. So what do you think about like them adding like a new gun every month, or maybe changing?
I don't know about every month, but
I'm just thinking about like League of Legends where it was a new character every month for like the first few years.
Was it actually?
Yeah, they even right now they drop. They have like a small patch that they do every month, and then they have like a major patch that they do every month.
Yeah,
and those kind of like one's like a small like bug fixes and small changes, and then one's like a big one where they either drop like a new character or they just completely rework somebody, and so it changes the meta of like what characters are strong and what characters aren't strong.
Yeah.
So you could be good at like 5 characters and 3 of those could get like turned into shit, and you have to learn 4 more new characters that are like the new meta. And I think that's what helps a game like League of Legends be a strong, entertaining esport with a single game mode for 8 years plus. So I'm just trying to think of ways that like that could be applied to Gears 5. And the only thing I can think of is, making a new gun every month or something like that, where it's...
I think that would help. I don't think that like fix the whole problem, having one game mode. I don't know.
Do you see it working with one game mode?
I could for a while, but if the game's coming out like every 3-4 years, it's going to be tough to hold on to. But
yeah.
You can always worry about that in a year or two, right? So,
yeah.
But for now, 2.0 is good, so I'd play that easily.
Yeah, I'm excited about 2.0. I'm excited to see how it develops, but I don't know. I don't know. I just have like a few worries.
I just don't think there should be. I know people are also suggesting execution, which would probably be pretty boring, but
execution's so bad.
They need like an objective with that. So I mean, honestly, I think a one life game mode would be pretty cool to see in Gears 5, but. Like I said, even myself, I can't think of anything like for that, so that's hard.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Yeah, I think, and execution too. Like it was so long. Like the rounds were 4 minutes, and isn't S&D or like Counter-Strike like 2-minute rounds?
Yeah.
So like even that, where there is an objective, it's like quick and they pump them out. Or execution was 4 minutes of people just waiting behind a corner with a boom shot.
I wouldn't even mind seeing some like a King of the Hill back, because I remember back in Gears War 3, King of the Hill was really fun to watch.
Yeah. Now, do you think King of the Hill being kind of similar to Escalation might like get too repetitive, or?
It could, but if they made it really like really well and made it the right way, I don't think it would.
What do you think like would be like the right way?
Just having good spawns, right spawns. Don't mess with spawns like terribly. I remember in Gears 3 there'd be some like weird shit spawns or whatever, but
yeah,
have the rings at an appropriate place, right? You can't have it like some like OP like where there's 2 ramps coming up and you just sit there and Lancer them down, because Lancer's strong in this game too, so you gotta put that into consideration. And honestly, just ring placements and spawn placements. Yeah.
So changing gears a little bit. God, I think I've said that twice now. To transition over here, I'll use a different phrase. We've played Gears 5 on LAN, competitively, online. What do you think in terms of like, the top teams going from Gears 4? It was us, it was Ghost, it was Reciprocity. I don't even know who after that. So in Gears 5, obviously it plays very differently. You can get punished easier for making kind of brainless plays, whereas in Gears 4 you could kind of get away with just having fast movement. So do you think that we're going to see like a shift in the top teams going into Gears 5?
I think the top 8 teams will stay around the same placements, right? But I feel like I don't think there will be a consistent first, second, third, or fourth. I mean, maybe first. I don't know, but I don't see like teams that are like neck and neck, like being so consistent in the top 3, right? So I feel like one event Reciprocity get second, and next one they can get like 6th or 7th.
You think it's going to be like closer rather than like, because I think in Gears 4 like there was pretty big gaps between like us, Ghost, Reciprocity, and then like a pretty large gap, and then the next set of teams.
I don't know what I said made sense, but I feel like there's a lot of meta to it right now, the new game mode. So I feel like one event someone can throw someone off completely. Like even like when I watch like CS events, like majors, there's just like these random teams, or not really random, but like teams that you kind of forgot about going to the event, or just like show up and win, right? Because they have all these new strategies and ideas that they can work with going into the event that they've prepped for the whole time. And I think going into Gears events, people might have those new metas that some people don't know about, right? I don't know how like in depth they can get, but like these things that'll throw other teams off and end up beating them because they're like be undertakers. I don't know, underdogs.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see the shift. Do you think there's any like? I mean, we noticed, and I don't want to call out players, but we noticed there were some players who were like solid at Gears, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I was gonna say that we noticed there were some players who were like really like solid players at Gears 4 who weren't even like worth paying attention to. It was like pretty much a free kill in Gears 5 at E-League. So
I feel like there's gonna be some other players that weren't as good in Gears 4 that'll be better in Gears 5 and vice versa, obviously, right? So I feel like players with more methodical play styles and like actually think about what they're gonna do before they make the plays and get better and be better in Gears 5. And there's people that just headlessly rush down and like wasted their lives and all that will be a detriment to the team sometimes. So
I think it's going to be interesting to see just how like again how players can get punished, especially with Lancers being
really strong. Yeah, it's really strong.
Were you caught off guard by like?
At first maybe like in scrims, but I got the feel of it.
Yeah,
it's strong though.
And so a lot of people don't know because I lost my camera, so all my vlog footage is gone. But we were getting beat up by Ghost and Scrims.
So we were scrimming Sunday morning, bro. The event, like we had a feeling we were gonna play them in finals if we did play, or beat the Europeans. So we were getting beat up. It was like
it was bad.
It was
right?
14. I want to say 14-2, but I think it's 14-4.
And they were beating us up on Saturday too. Like the only time we took a map on them was Friday, I think.
Well, I think Saturday was like almost even. Friday we beat them up, and Sunday like Saturday they probably had our number.
Yeah.
Friday we beat them up, and then Sunday we didn't get a map in scrims, but that's just some scrim things to be honest.
It was bad. We were getting.
It was like that in Gears 4 last event. I don't know if anybody knew that, bro. We couldn't win a damn map before the event, bro. We were like 2-20 in maps.
It was for like
before
2
the
weeks.
event, like literally before the day going into the event, we couldn't win a map.
The only team that we beat was Kenny's team. I don't know what their team name was.
Soto, Kenny, Sam, and them.
Yeah.
We were so bad. Like we couldn't win a map for anything online, and it's like that's the worst we had ever played online. So going to the event, I was so confident. I don't know about the others, but I mean, maybe they weren't as confident. I mean, I don't blame them.
It's hard to get through that.
Yeah, and that was honestly might have been our best event ever. So. Aside from losing that one map on Side Station, like whatever.
Yeah.
We weren't giving it all.
I mean, I'm glad we lost.
Finals semis. That shit was slight. I hope it just not like that in Gears 5 though.
And what do you think about like in Gears 5? We only lost one map again.
Yeah, we shouldn't have lost that map too. I don't know. Shit. People are good online, so if events are held online somehow, I'll be in trouble. But for now, LAN, that's when we show up, and that's just. Fuck, I don't know.
So what was your favorite part about Gears 5? Because you, like, for people who didn't watch, you pretty much single-handedly won us District versus Simplicity with your sniper. And that reminded me of, like, the mental of UE.
Yeah, bro, I haven't got a chance to snipe in so long. So it was a great feeling, honestly, being able to snipe again, especially in, like, a clutch situation. Like, that's my favorite.
Yeah, because you just hit those shots. Like,
yeah, I feel like there's a big clutch factor in that game if you hit your shots. I mean, even against Ghost in the finals on... What's that map called? Training Grounds. And had the marks like in scrims. Sleeper had the marks every round. We had to ban it, like whatever, disable it. And scrims and on LAN and the finals, they were disabling it. You know what I mean? So it's like if you go off with a certain weapon, there's nothing other team can do sometimes. And
yeah, they get like afraid of it too.
That's the clutch factor I liked about it.
Okay. And crap, I was gonna ask you something relating to that. So again. Sniper and UE, you were like known, like you and Fran were really like the top two snipers, and Hudson's was up there too. So do you like? For me, when I play with the sniper, like there's almost like a pressure because you have like limited ammo. It's not like your Lance or your shotgun. You got to hit your shots. And do you ever feel like that pressure, like especially when you're like in a competitive environment, or do you just like it's another gun? And
I just don't think about it. I think that's the thing. Like if you think about it, like. If you sit there and scoped in pre-aim in the sky, thinking about like if you're gonna hit it or miss it or whatever, I don't know. But I kind of just like I don't really think about like if I'm gonna miss or hit it. I kind of just go for that shot that I think's gonna like kill him. I don't know. It's weird to explain. It's really hard to explain. But sometimes I even like going for body shots, like support. I use a support too. But if there's a situation where like even if I body shot him, it won't matter. That's when I go for headshots really. But if my teammates are in a team fight, which I see a lot of pro players doing, like with the sniper, they'll see like a team fight going on across the map. and they'll go for this headshot and just completely miss the head, right?
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'll literally aim like towards the middle, like the core area.
So you have like a bigger target.
Yeah, because that's like what, 80% in one if you hit the shot.
Yeah.
So I mean, I like to use this support too, but if it's a clutch factor situation, like how you said, like District and Kenny and them, like you have to hit those headshots. Like when Kenny got a pick, right? I think it was 6-2, 6-3. Excuse me. It was like 6-2 or 6-3. Kenny got a pick across the map for me. I was like, okay, we're literally down 4-5, right? 4v5. And if we don't get a kill, we're probably gonna lose this round. So I knew I had to hit the shot. And that's like when the enemy hit the shot. So shit. Clutch factor's fun with it. I don't know what to say.
Now, do you feel pressure like in general when you're sitting down playing on LAN?
I don't know about pressure. I mean,
or do you feel nervous?
I feel like I thrive more off adrenaline. I mean, obviously everyone's gonna have like these kind of like nerves or whatever. Anybody that says otherwise is lying. Like everyone's gonna have like this thought of like being on stage and like not trying to suck, right? So,
yeah.
I mean, I like to thrive off that if anything. So adrenaline, I feel like, which helps my clutch factor a lot. And if I'm feeling like slumpish or like, I don't know if that's even a word, but just down a little bit, like I don't feel like I'll have that clutch factor in the game. So I always try to make sure I'm like just there in the game mentally.
So was that like always the thing for you? Because I wasn't there. I was there for like, I guess your first big event, ESL season 1. That's kind of like your first major. Do you like? I don't remember you being really nervous there at all.
Yeah, honestly, that was weird. I remember that event. That was like one of the least times I've ever been nervous at an event.
And we were getting destroyed in the grand finals.
Yeah, it was weird. I don't know, but shit. I don't know what to say. Like, I wasn't that nervous that event, but everyone has these sort of nerves, right? Some people shake, like, whatever. As long as they hit their shots, you can't really say anything. But I've seen people be really nervous and suck, and that's how it goes a lot. Yeah. For majority of the players in the pro scene, but I mean, to be honest, for me, like, even if I am nervous, I don't feel like I'm gonna suck because of it. I don't know. Just prepare for whatever I do online and hope it works online. If it does, then I prepped right.
Yeah. And that's another thing that people don't, I think, understand about like your mindset is how you're very much, we lost in Vegas and that was our worst placement since I joined the team.
Fourth place?
Yeah, 4th place. And I think you guys had gotten 3rd, like at that as Swarm at that Hype Fest, right?
Yeah, we had a sub, but yeah.
Yeah, but still, like that was literally the worst.
4th place, yeah, still my worst place ever.
So I remember you saying, "Well, can't win them all." Like after we lost,
that's annoying, but still, you can't. I mean, maybe you can, but
do you ever get like? So we've lost twice, really. Like realistically, not counting like
the
Hype
subs.
Fest
Yeah, I don't count
with the
those.
sub. We've lost twice. Do you ever get like angry or frustrated, or do you just kind of like? I mean, can't win them all.
Of course. I mean, I get mad and frustrated. I don't really show it as much. Like I don't sit there and like yell at my teammates or get mad about something. Like I mean, at somebody specifically. Yeah. Because you got to move past it if you want to win in the future. And I don't want that feeling ever again to lose. So I want to make sure I win again. So by doing so, you can't be toxic. Yeah. I've never been toxic, and if you're toxic, it's literally only make it worse mentally. In game, everything, I promise. Yeah. So is that like a bit of advice that you would give to like aspiring pros? Don't be toxic. Don't be toxic. I mean, honestly, you can't be. You can't blame others all the time. I mean, if someone's shit in the bed consistently, then maybe you shouldn't play with them. But if it's like a one-game thing, but they're like a good player, good asset to your team, there's no point in roasting. Like, we all have bad games. Like, it's inevitable not to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you literally have to. Otherwise, you're literally not human. So everyone has bad games, so you just got to get past it. Yeah. Maybe people have bad events too, so got to brush it off and go to the next. And I've yet to lose back-to-back events, knock on wood. So
yeah, let's not jinx that one real quick. Okay, so ignoring that. Speaking of teammates, let's talk about you and Gilbert Explosive are, I think, like the longest lasting duo in Gears. What do you attribute that to? And do you think that like the success of this team is very much focused around like the relationship that you two have, or?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, we mesh really well in our game. We've been playing together since actually our first time teaming together was in Call of Duty, so it wasn't in Gears.
Really?
Yeah, AW. I didn't even know him back then, and we just started teaming Gears because I think because of Lava and Brian Solars.
Well, how did that happen? Like, how did you two not know each other and then start teaming in COD?
I don't know. Going to Hype 3, I remember seeing him the first time and never talked to him online. So, and then eventually I forgot who I was. I think I was duoed with Brian Solars, and him and I were looking for 2 going to UE, and so was Lava and Gilbert. And initially, we were going to that game not planning on traveling for events. We just want to win online money because we just wanted that extra money. So
you had no intention?
We had no intention of going to land in Gears or UE unless we were winning. So that was our motive, right? Winning, so we can go to an event. Because we really want to go to an event, but I didn't have the money back then. So
and at that point, Solars had never been to an event.
Yeah.
You had been to one hype, Lava.
No, I never. Yeah, I've been to one hype. Okay.
Yeah, going into UE.
Yeah.
So Solars had never traveled. Lava had obviously traveled.
And mine was like a fake one. I lived like 4 hours away from it. I just drove there.
Okay. And then Gilbert had traveled, right?
Yeah, but he didn't even pay for his stuff. He couldn't afford it. Someone else paid for it, I remember.
Okay, so but he had still like had like experience.
Yeah, Lava so we really wanted like a sponsor and like make a name for ourselves in UE, so we'd get picked up and travel. So.
And that's how it started?
That's how it started.
And like you said you didn't really know them that well? Like, I mean,
I didn't know Gilbert at all. But before UE, we met playing COD, so.
Okay.
Having the intentions to possibly... Actually, we didn't have intentions of playing Gears together yet, I don't think. I can't remember. But once we started playing COD together, we're like, okay, we can do this. Like, was
your COD team with Lava and Brian as well? Like you, Gilbert, Lava, Brian? Okay. Now, I remember a story that not a lot of people might know about you guys in COD. And wasn't there like a Pro League qualifier that was online?
Semi-Pro League qualifier in UMG.
Okay. And you guys got DDoSed.
We got DDoSed tiebreaker map on our host, and like host back then was like really OP for us.
Versus
we even had a Cali host, but
versus Team Fear, right?
No, we beat Fear.
You beat Fear.
We beat Fear. Yeah, we played some other team that I think might have lost to Stunner, which is TJ Halley back then. I remember. I don't know, but I remember we got DDoS tiebreaker and we got forfeited on 5 minutes on the dot. We didn't get hit by 9 minutes. We got forfeited. And I think there's one more match after that for a qualifying match.
Okay, and this was for a semi-pro league?
Semi-pro league on UMG, but like there's still good teams on it.
Yeah, that's crazy. So you guys were actually like really good.
Yeah, there's one more match after that. And I think the team that did that to us actually qualified too. They beat the team after that. I think. I remember the next match wasn't that hard compared to like what bracket we had in the beginning.
Do you remember who it was?
Like, I actually have no idea. They literally flooded us. I remember because people were complaining beforehand too when they played them.
Yeah, that they were having like connection issues and stuff.
And we got forfeited.
That's crazy.
We didn't get a chance to play tiebreaker. I remember the tiebreaker map was the one with the big truck with B, and then I don't know what the map's called, but whatever.
Yeah, and that was Advanced Warfare. That's crazy. And so you guys lose that, and then. How does like did you guys kind of like split up after that and then come together for UE or?
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing much to play for anymore. Actually, I still played AW. I played with Kyle, Rigby, one of my old friends, and some other person I forgot. And I played a lot of low tier scrims with them, like pro low tier scrims, and it was going really well. But Kyle sucked and kind of left us, and we couldn't find a fourth. And Gears came out, but I was doing really well in AW, to be honest. That was my favorite game for a while. And shit, I feel like we could have definitely qualified if we didn't get flooded. And who knows what happened after.
Yeah, I mean, that could have changed like
everything,
your entire career.
Shit, yeah.
So you guys finish that, and then you come together for UE. You have no intention of traveling unless you do well online. And then you just started doing well, right? I mean, like I don't remember what tournament I saw you guys do well in that made me message you. Because I know I messaged you like September like 18th of or something like of 2015.
Yeah, when you first DM'd me, I remember that me and Gilbert were in a party together, right? It was in UE, right?
Yeah, it was. Because I was working with Fran, Praise, Kirill's for the end of 3.
I remember when you DM'd me, I was in a party with Gilbert. I'm like, what was your name back to? thyAshes or thyAshes still?
It was still thyAshes,
okay.
I think.
So I remember I was like, let's get thyAshes in me. Like, he's gonna help us get orgs and stuff. Like, this could be our chance. But at first, like, we're just gonna troll him for a bit.
Yeah.
And see what he really has to offer, because we're getting messages from other people too.
Yeah.
And not as serious as yours though. Yours, like, I remember being like this long. I was like, oh shit. But I was like, I'm gonna just tell him we have all these offers and see what he says.
Yeah, you were telling me you had like all these.
I was like, yo, I think EG hit us up, MV, we're talking to right now. So like, what do you have? And him and I, we had no intentions of going with those orgs. So we never talked to him. So And Ash was like, oh yeah, of course, I know Envy, I know this team. We're like, shit. We got him in the Skype, and the rest is history.
Yeah, that's still crazy. And
That's
I remember I remember the first times like I was watching your scrims, like you guys play, I was just watching for fun. And like we had to like fight, like argue with people to like let me spectate scrims.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Especially Demo. He was like so against me spectating. Like even like at the end.
Coaches weren't much of a thing.
Yeah, no.
Everyone thought it was like cheating, I don't know.
Which is crazy because all I had was like the random cameras or like your guys' point of views.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's Mental is the one I messaged to like get this opportunity to like come from League of Legends.
Luckily I'm a troll. I just wanted to troll because otherwise I might not have responded.
Yeah, and everyone like Lava was the only one who was hesitant. Was it him or was it
Gilbert didn't think to message you back either, but I was like,
because I only messaged you, but I thought there was one person on the team who was like,
I know for a fact Brian wouldn't have responded. He never responds to people, so. And I didn't think Gilbert had any intention to respond to him. I was talking to him about it, but I was like, fuck it. I'll just DM him back.
So what did you guys think? Like, because I haven't really heard like your point of view other than, now you're telling me like, oh shit, like he actually knows stuff.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
what did you think when I started giving you guys feedback in scrims? Because like I didn't join as like
it was
a
getting
coach.
Like more serious, I guess. I don't know. We liked it. Like you were good. Like you had all these documents, like long ass pages, like round by round detailed, right?
Yeah.
Of what to do, like what went wrong, and then maybe some VOD too. So
when I first like gave you guys feedback, did you think like, oh, shut up, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about? Or
I mean, no, honestly, like I said, I always take what people say into consideration. Otherwise, you're not going to grow as a player, right? So
yeah,
because you can't just think you're always right.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It did help me. Like I would even ask you sometimes, like, what I do wrong? Can you watch me here? Can you watch me there? And I like the descriptive Google Docs, right? So like, got a better idea mentally, like in my head, like what's going on and what I could do better. So it helped.
Which is crazy because I like hated you.
You hated me
because he was like the biggest troll in the world.
But you hated me.
I remember like complaining to like my friends, like my League of Legends friends, like he's so fucking good, but like he's so
shit
infuriating.
On you too, huh?
Yeah, because like I would say like I would like give a pointer and you were like whatever, and then you would like go like do the opposite and just destroy people. And like, well, how do I like you're winning? How do I correct you? Yeah. Like tell you you're doing the wrong thing when it's working out for you. Like it's like positive reinforcement for. It's like if you like instead of doing your dishes, you just broke them, and I like handed you a candy bar like as a little kid. Like what am I supposed to do about that?
I don't know.
But I remember like Lava, I remember like specifically was responding really well, and Brian and Gilbert kind of seemed indifferent. Mm-hmm. And then I don't remember what I think it was like. There was a point, and not a lot of people know this, where like we almost broke up as a team in UE.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I kind of forgot, but there's always those times, I'm sure.
Because there was, I remember specifically, we
had trouble getting IGL. That's the time where
people weren't listening to Lava, and there would be times where like he wasn't actively IGLing. And I think it was like a clock tower or something that you guys lost, or like maybe it was like just a GB match in general. Because that was back then. We would get done scrims at midnight or whatever time, and then you guys would grind GBs until like 6 a.m. because you just enjoyed being number one on the TL. And I would wake up in the morning and I would get to the donut shop and I'd be like scrolling through GB and like, oh damn, they played like 10 matches, they won. Like how many of them were close? Who'd they beat? Because I was like, I don't know, even though I was like kind of like working with you guys, I was still like, I felt like just a really big fan.
Yeah.
Which I don't think I've ever even told you guys. Like I was just a fan of you guys, which is why like I liked working for you, and I wasn't making money. I was just enjoyed working with you guys. Even though you pissed me off. But there was a point where I remember I had to work like the next morning. I had to get up to go to the donut shop, and we had gotten done scrims, and maybe it was a rough night or something. And you guys were like, we had that Twitter DM group because it was when I was still Android, and you guys were just arguing for like,
that happened a lot back then.
3 hours in this Twitter DM group, just going at each other. And it kept waking me up because my phone was vibrating all the time. And
do you remember who the two culprits were?
Like it was Lava and you, I think.
Oh, me?
Yeah, I think it was you and Lava. Because you and Lava butted.
I thought that happened more towards the end of UE. If anything. I don't know. I was cool with Lava and Gears for
I don't remember if it was before Season 1. I think it was before Season 1 finals that this happened. Because obviously, like, we had the other roster issues with Brian after season 1 finals, like going into season 2. So I'm pretty sure it was before we even won our first event together.
Yeah, I just got into lava. I even got it to Gilbert too. Like,
yeah,
everybody.
And you guys, like, there was like a point where you guys were like talking about being done playing with each other. And I remember waking up and I was pissed that it was like 3 a.m.
I actually remember that.
And I had to be awake to go to work in 2 hours. And I just wrote this like long wall of text where I just roasted each of you individually.
Tell us to shut up.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Stop being bitches. Like, stop. Like, it was literally like you had to scroll. It was like your girlfriend breaks up with you kind of text. Like, you just had to scroll through it.
Yeah.
And then I just like turned off I muted that group after I sent that and went back to sleep. And I woke up to read the messages in the morning, like the replies. And it seemed like to kind of cool off a little bit.
It was probably just in the moment, you know. What happened. Probably lost a GB or something. I don't know.
I don't remember. And
I don't remember why, but I remember going at it.
Do you remember when? So let's see. I think it was Kenny was on the team, and he played. You guys had me on the GB roster, and we played a GB and lost. And Lava or it was either Lava or Gilbert lost their minds.
Yeah, was I in that match? I don't remember.
No, because we got another sub. It was like Osby and
Noxious.
And
I was kind of pissed too. I was like, whatever, but GB, but
it was like the first loss.
GB meant a lot to some of them back then, though.
I don't
even me, but like at the time, I was like, whatever. But
I don't even remember who we lost to. I just remember we lost, and Kenny was like, it's no big deal. And then you guys like freaked out.
That was so stupid, but it's whatever. We're undefeated, but
and I remember and obviously this is no disrespect to Osby, but I remember you guys going there. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like, I sent Lava a separate message. I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. Like, if I would have known it meant this much, like, I wouldn't have played. And he's like, I don't even fucking care that you played. I trust you. I don't trust Osby.
Oh shit.
And I was like, oh my god. Like, well, at least it's not me. Like,
that's funny.
Oh man,
that was stupid of you guys, though.
Was it?
Yeah.
You think? Okay, so in terms of me playing,
I know how much like GB meant to Lava too.
Yeah.
And even Gilbert, I think, at the time. So I was like, oh shit, I hope you guys don't lose. I remember you guys were asking me to play. I was like, nah, whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't know you guys were gonna get a sub though. I would have told you not to, but yeah, that's a mistake.
So when did GB stop meaning something to you guys?
Probably at the end of UB.
You think so?
Beginning Gears 4, yeah.
Because Gears 4, we grinded it, or you guys grinded it for a little bit.
Yeah, but that's just kind of like a practice.
Yeah.
It wasn't like whatever. Like, if we lose, like whatever, you know. But
do you think that's going to be a thing? I mean, I don't know what's happening with MLG and, you know, all of that stuff. I don't know what GB is going to be doing. But do you think that's still going to be like a thing that teams do at the beginning of Gears 5 is grind GBs? Or
I don't think so. I think wagers.
You think wagers is going to be it?
For pros, at least. Maybe amateurs have their own AM wagers. So I think that's going to be the wave. Wagers.
Well, I told you teams are already trying to schedule scrims.
Yeah, it's got to relax on that one, best second.
So we'll try to. I don't know how long we've been doing this. I imagine it's been for a little while, but
yeah, we have been.
So you've been duo with Gil for a long time. That's what we were talking about before we kind of went off on that tangent. And do you think like that kind of long-term relationship? Because you two, like we said, longest-lasting duo in Gears. And you guys are the only two original. I mean, Brian like left and came back, so he lost his OG status.
Yeah.
But you two are like the only two OG people on our team because Lava's gone. Alex joined at the start of Gears 4, so he missed UE with us. Do you think like that kind of bond is what helps you two kind of like succeed so much in Gears?
Yeah, we have a better understanding of each other, so it's easier to work together, you know. So.
Do you think that's important? Like, would you advise teams that are, you know, trying to go pro?
Yeah, I feel like if people are like really good, like say there's like two really good players, and like you don't have really much beef, right? Like I would try to stick it. I would try to build as much chemistry as possible. Is what I'm trying to say with anybody, and hopefully one day build that with somebody else, like another duo or trio or something like that, and so on. Just build team chem and get better.
Okay, so to wrap this up. What is one piece of it? Because not a lot of people, you don't make content that much, unfortunately.
What do you mean?
You upload daily. That's right. I forgot.
Right.
What is one piece of advice as one of the greatest Gears players in history? What is one piece of advice that you would give to aspiring amateur players and teams? Like the most important piece of advice to help them like become the next you.
I mean, I would say keep playing, keep grinding. Don't be toxic. Don't be that guy that blames their teammates all the time. You know, blame yourself sometimes. Watch some pros. don't be a dick to the pros either, because I see a lot of that on TL from amateurs. Like, we're supposed to give these people their shot or whatever, but you just gotta do it yourself. You know, like, just keep playing. Don't be toxic. Don't be hating on anybody. Just keep getting better and blame yourself most of the part. I mean, that's it, really.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being on the podcast.
It was my pleasure.
Yeah, and go ahead and plug your social media and all that stuff.
Twitter's mental, Instagram mental _21.
That's it? Stream?
It. Oh, yeah. I'm a big content guy on Twitch, so you can catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/mental. I do have the OG because I do create a lot of content on there. So
of course,
you'll be seeing me stream a lot of Gears War 5, hopefully weekly when the game comes out.
Oh, weekly streams?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So hopefully that's a start, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, if I'm having a lot of fun on it, you know, play some wagers, I'll stream as much as I can. So
cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode of the Ashcast, and let me know in the comments or somewhere on social media what you or who you would like to see on the next episode. And yeah,
Peace.
Later.